Today, Baba is cautioning us that we shouldn't do anything which makes our conscience bite. And at some point of time, before Gyan or after Gyan, we have all felt how it feels when the conscience bites. Yes, and that's one of the worst feelings that a soul can experience. And that makes you lose all faith in yourself. That's kind of, it lowers your self-esteem immensely. And the main thing is self-esteem. So when you lose yourself, that's the biggest loss. And when the conscience bites, then the self-esteem is lost. And if you're not seated in self-esteem, then your actions don't have any power. Your actions are very powerless, and it is the chances of finding success through your actions gets reduced immensely. So that is why Baba says, do not do anything that makes your conscience bite. Now you see that the conscience is a very interesting faculty of the soul. And we will understand something about the conscience first. So we have a conscience, and a conscience is an aspect of the buddhi. But so in Hindi we say dil khati hai. Yes, so that dil or conscience is an aspect of the buddhi. Now, a conscience is like the internal GPS of the soul. So, when we set out on this journey and we come from the soul world, and we here play our parts as actors, then we are given this faculty called the conscience, which is like an internal GPS which keeps guiding you at every step. So whenever you make a mistake, whenever you do that which you shouldn't do, or not do that which you should do, then there is this gnawing of the conscience or the biting of the conscience, which is like an inner ingrained wake up mechanism for the soul. So that just like you have mechanisms in machines which alert you. So this is like an inner mechanism which is there in the drama for the soul, which makes you alert that you need to pay attention here and not do what you're not supposed to do, or do what you're supposed to do. So that is like an inner mechanism. But the one of the things about the conscience is that if you don't listen to it and you keep doing what the conscience is not asking you to do, or if you keep overriding it, then it stops working. It loses functionality. So that is the thing about the conscience. And when we come to the copper age, and then there is this morality that we are taught, and a large part of the morality is guided by Ravan, and where lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed are permitted. and they are said that it is okay and normal to be like this in certain situations, and in some circumstances they are not permitted. So then what happens is your conscience also starts getting colored by this, it loses its original functionality, and it starts getting trained by the morality, and it changes its form. So you see that when your children, when we are so in this birth also, I have experienced that when you're a little child and you lie for the first time, you feel that there's something wrong with this, and you don't feel right about lying. But then, you are trained to believe that lying is good in many situations. And who train you? It's, people who you are close to, your parents, teachers, and family, they train you. Consciously or unconsciously, however, but they train you. And then you stop feeling anything wrong with lying, and you lie blatantly. And because we are very influenced by sung by company, so in a world where everybody is lying and lying is normal, your conscience also starts getting deactivated, and you also start feeling that it is normal to lie. And the first kind of lie we tell, is that father is not at home, or when somebody calls or somebody shows up at the door, and then your dad or your mom says, go and tell them we are not at home. So you go and tell them, or you tell them over phone that they are not available when they are available right there. So this is how you start changing how your conscience works. And by the time we come to the end of Kali Yuga, our conscience is highly dysfunctional, and we come to a place where we are feeling guilty, and our conscience is biting about things that it shouldn't, but it is okay with things that you should really feel guilty about. And it is a mess, just like the soul. The conscience is a mess at the end. And I remember there was this Kanya, and she felt that if she didn't get married because her parents wanted her to, then she would rot in hell. And the thought of not getting married at the when the parents dictate her to get married, that was biting her conscience badly. And she said, I get sleepless nights thinking about it. So morality keeps influencing you, and what you're taught in the world, it keeps influencing you, and then your conscience becomes very different from how it was originally designed. And if you look at the GPS also in your car that you use, you see, if you keep taking the route that it is not asking you to take, then it also starts telling you that same route. So it gives you, it reroutes itself. So that's how the conscience works. Now, Baba has been called the restorer of conscience. And if you in every religion, there is a different word, but Baba has been upheld as the restorer of conscience. And in Christianity, they say God is the restorer of conscience. In Hinduism, they say Bhagwan buddhivano ki buddhi hai, which means he activates your conscience. So when we come to Baba and we start listening to his knowledge, and we start remembering Baba, then our conscience starts getting restored, and the original way the original function of the conscience comes into place. And then according to Srimad, because Srimad is a truth, so whenever you override Srimad, then your conscience will bite. And that's actually the function of the conscience. And this is how it starts changing. And Baba says that when you are a jnani and yogi, then your conscience, if it has, restructured itself and you have an activated conscience, then you must listen to your conscience. And when it bites, then you mustn't ignore its call, and you must pay attention and change your actions. And today Baba gives an example that, let's say somebody keeps listening to knowledge and keeps coming to class, but they also keep indulging in lust. Then Baba says that, they try to fool themselves by saying that God is omniscient, so He is anyway seeing everything, He knows everything. So He knows that I am being lustful and I am coming to this class, so that's okay. But Baba says that I don't have a problem, you can be whoever you are. But if you know you are doing something which you shouldn't do, then your conscience will bite. And second thing is, if you are doing what you're not supposed to do, there'll be a loss for you. And then if your conscience keeps biting, then what happens is you lose your relationship with yourself. And that's a very big loss. So Baba says that if you are honest with me, and when you are honest with Baba, you tell what you're doing honestly, and you take directions and improve yourself, Baba says that is good for you. But if you keep hiding and lying, and you don't make effort to mend your ways, then what happens is that you lose your relationship with yourself and also incur loss because of the karma that you are doing against Srimad. So let us first talk about this thing about telling Baba. So Baba says that if you are lying and hiding, then that's not a good practice. Now you see, people think that when I'm doing something against Srimad or not doing something which Srimad tells me to, then Baba knows. So what is the point of telling Baba? But the point of telling Baba, and how do you tell Baba? Through the Nimit sister that you have. So whatever mistakes you're making, you tell. Now, when you tell, what happens is they don't keep shut and listen. They will give you certain directions, make this change, bring about this change. Now, you telling and listening to directions go together. If you're telling and not listening to directions, then you will have what is called avagya ka boj, which means the the burden of being disobedient. Okay, so you see, there are two options. One is you hide it, not tell, lie. Then you have the burden of the sin of lying. Second option is you tell and don't follow the directions that are given. Then you have the burden of disobedience. But if you tell honestly and then listen to what they are directing you to do, then you are free from the burden of both these sins, and you also incur a profit by doing good karma. So, and this is not optional. So, in the world you believe that you can run away, you can avoid the truth by running away from it, but there is no running away from truth. So you have to face the truth, you have to do something about it. So just by hiding and lying about your misdeeds, you cannot get rid of them. So the only method to get rid of them is to confess, and then you take the directions and then follow them and then get rid of them. Now, I have seen, there are many children who keep submit their honest chart, or who submit their confessions, but they don't do as directed. So when they are told, bring about this change, bring about that change, they don't. And it's not about bringing about the change, it's about making effort. But it is seen that there is no effort on that part. So when there is no effort, then that is not called honest confession. So this is first thing. Second thing is, if you keep doing, keep hiding, keep doing, or despite telling, not following directions, keep doing whatever your conscience is telling you you shouldn't do, then it keeps biting you. And then what happens is, you will feel unworthy of Baba's help, and you will feel worthy of every pain and sorrow that you're getting, and you will not be able to overcome it. Let me give you an example. So you see, there is this brother, and he never did any seva, physical, financial, nothing. He's been in Gyan for very long, and he's capable, but he never did it. And then there was a theft in his factory, and a lot of loss happened. And when that loss happened, he called me and he was very sad. So I told him that it's okay and this is drama, and just put the past behind yourself. And then he said, Didi, there is a recurring thought in me that because I never did any seva, that's why this happened to me. So he said, is it so? I said, no, it's not like that. Whatever has to happen in drama happens in drama. So he said, but why do I have this recurring thought? So I told him that it's because you never did anything. So it's not like if you did everything, there wouldn't be this loss. There would be this loss. If it is there in the drama, there would be anything, right? But if you were a good sevadhari, then in that loss, you wouldn't have this thought. Yes, and your conscience won't bite. And you will be in a very happy state, and you will be able to put a full stop to the drama and take power from Baba, and just, don't not mind the situation. And I remember another brother, and he was very dedicated to Baba's Shrimat and Seva, and he also had a loss. But when he had that loss, he came and told me that, Didi, I feel that Baba wants me to change my business and he wants me to do something else. So maybe this is happening. So then he looked at it and he got the insurance money and he set up a new business with that. And he was very happy. He never felt that this is something wrong that's happening to me. So, what you do doesn't influence the external situations, but what you do influences your internal state. And in the face of difficult external situations, your only resource is your internal state. And when that is powerful, then nothing outside matters. And when that is weak, then even a small thing can just make you collapse. It will look like the end of the world. So that's why it's very necessary to have a good relationship with your conscience, because whenever something happens, you have to make sure that your conscience is on your side. If your conscience is not on your side, then everything can put you into self doubt. And I remember that I have gone through many episodes in this Brahmin life where things have really fallen apart outside. And in those times, I have just asked myself, have you been a good child of Baba? Have you done whatever you could, and have you done your best? And my heart said yes. And I had faith that Baba is on my side. And whatever the situation, there were situations where people thought that my Brahmin life will come to an end now. So one cannot go beyond this. But then there was, it didn't even prick. It felt like nothing happened, because Baba was on my side. And it's not, Baba is always on your side, but you should have the confidence that Baba is on your side. And that happens when your conscience is on your side. So this is one thing. I'll give you another example, a very simple example. So there is this one Mata, and she had some food poisoning, and that food was prepared at home. It is not like she ate from outside or something. But she had not offered bhog to Baba. And then she had food poisoning. And the moment she started having these cramps, the first thought she had is, oh my God, I didn't offer bhog to Baba. And this is why this food went poisonous. Now, it's not like you didn't offer bhog to Baba, and it was not something that she did consciously. She was unwell, so she just, it slipped her mind. But the thing is that because you didn't offer bhog to Baba, you felt that, that thought came to you. And the moment it came to you, what happened is you couldn't have the faith that Baba is healing you. And then you started feeling guilty. Now, guilt is a very negative sanskar, although, in many religions, guilt is held to be, a good aspect of your personality. And they say that you should feel guilty whenever you do something wrong. But in Gyan, we understand that feeling guilty is not a good idea, because when you feel guilty, you become very distant from yourself and Baba. And if you can't connect to yourself and Baba, then how do you change that which you're feeling guilty about? So, feeling guilty or the conscience biting is never a good idea. So, that's why Baba says that take care to listen to your conscience. And when Baba gives us Shrimat and we have yoga, then we understand what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and then our conscience gets activated and it bites in the right place, because the restorer of conscience has activated it. And in Brahmin life, we must listen to our conscience and not ignore it, because when it bites, then you lose your relationship with yourself and Baba. So, this is one thing. Second thing Baba today says is, you do not worry about who lives and who dies. You just worry about your Purusharth. Because you see, Baba says that in this whole world everything is temporary. So, don't get caught up in anything, because when you get caught up in anything, you lose your pace of Purusharth. And you see, there was this one Mata, and she was in Gyan. She is in Gyan. She's a very good Baba's child. And she and her husband both were in Gyan. And for many years, they were in Gyan together, and they've been very good Baba's children. And then the husband left the body. And then, the Mata, it was a very difficult situation for her. And then people in the world started saying that, you both were a couple and you were BKs. So go and ask your Baba why he left you as a widow, and why did you have to get widowed, and these kind of things. And they got to her. And after some time, she started feeling that this shouldn't have happened. And then she just, slowed down her pace of Purusharth. So her center visits started getting less and less, and she started getting missing her Amrit Vela and stuff. And then, one day she just got up at Amrit Vela, and she shared her experience with me that when she got up at Amrit Vela and she was remembering Baba, then Baba told her that, you see, everybody has to die. You also have to leave the body. And everyone cannot leave the body together. So he left first, you will leave later. It doesn't matter. These things are very trivial. But what matters is when you leave the body, you go to a world of happiness and you get a good partner. And if he was a good partner to you and you want that partner, then also you have to do Purusharth, because when he left the body, he was in very good state. And now you are spoiling your Purusharth and you are not in good state. So when you leave the body, he will go to Satyug and become a deity. And what are you doing to yourself? So you are not, you are doing, you are doing karma which will ensure that you don't come with him. so so from that day onwards, she started doing Purusharth. And she said that, it doesn't matter whether somebody is today with you or not today with you, but if that person is really nice, and nice people are only those who belong to Baba. So if that person is really nice, then how can you be with them? By being nice. If you are getting caught up in, they leaving the body, or somebody living or dying, then you will not come with them. So Baba says that you have to be only concerned about your Purusharth, because your Purusharth will create your destiny. By thinking about somebody, by missing somebody, by crying for somebody, by feeling sorrowful for somebody or happy for somebody, you cannot change their destiny or your destiny. So, it's good that you see everything. People will live, they will die, they'll be happy, they'll be sad. You see everything like a detached observer, but don't get caught up in all of that. And you see, I see there are Brahmins, 15 years old, 20-year-old Brahmins, and they say, 2 months, no seva, no class, nothing. And you ask them what happened. No, my son was getting married. Are your son is getting married, why are you getting married again? So you have to you have to understand that your son will get married, they will have a, that will be the change of life for them. But why are you changing your life for that? Your life is this. You have chosen this life. You have understood what you are here for. You have to make effort for that. And if you don't, If you stop your effort for 2 months, is it easy to get back to it? It is not. So you have to understand that I don't slow down, I don't go back because of something that's happening around me. So anybody getting married, anybody having birthdays and anniversaries and parties and whatever, or anybody dying, Baba says don't get caught up in that, because that is part of their drama. You don't need to get sucked into their drama, and you focus on what you need to do, and always be so polite that you don't rub people the wrong way while doing this. You have to be a little diplomatic and then you need to focus on your thing, and then be they shouldn't feel that you're not part of them and you're not happy in their happiness or sad in their sorrow. So you must make them feel that I'm part of you and I fully empathize with you, but then you have to have clarity that that is their drama, not your drama. And if you get sucked up in their drama, then you will be allowing their drama to change your drama, which is not a good idea. You only want you and Baba to decide what your drama will be. So it's very important to have that clarity. And you see, even while we live in the center, we also have Lokik families, we also have, people around us, we have people who stay with us, and there are Lokik families and stuff, but we participate in everything. We make them feel that we are there, but we know that their drama is their drama, my drama is my drama. And you always have to have your eye on your goal and your purusharth, and that is very important. So this is there. And then Baba today tells us that in any scene of sorrow, take care not to be sorrowful. Yes, why? Because you know so you see that we have somehow conditioned ourselves to believe that when a situation is not going my way, then I need to be sorrowful. Yes. And because you see, when you are laughing as a child, you see how we are conditioned. So when you get bad marks or something happens to you and then you're laughing, then people say, why are you laughing? What is the happy news? So you should be sorrowful in this situation. And we are taught to be sorrowful. So, sorrow is a learning, a teaching that the world teaches us. But if you look at it, actually, there is no need for sorrow because situations come and go, scenes change, people's behaviors change, every scene is different from the other. And if you lose your happiness in a scene, it doesn't ensure that it changes to your advantage. On the contrary, if you lose your happiness, then you will attract more sorrow in your life. So Baba says that just pay attention to this thing, that I am the child of the ocean of happiness, and change this sanskar of getting sorrowful every now and then. And happiness is your treasure. If there is a situation, what you do about the situation is cross it, not cross it in sorrow. So if you are sorrowful, the chances are lesser that you would cross it. So there is no correlation actually between an unfavorable situation and sorrow, but somehow we have programmed ourselves like that. And Baba says, now just be man manabhav, just remember me, that I am the ocean of happiness, your parent, you are my child, and your original quality is happiness. Just emerge that and surf through all the situations like a surfer surfs through the waves of the ocean. And you see that when a surfer surfs through the waves of the ocean, then he enjoys it. So Baba says, don't get drowned in the waves. When you are sorrowful, you're drowning in the waves. But if you just maintain your happiness by remembering Baba, then you're surfing through the waves. And every situation gives you immense joy, because every situation is a way of learning. It gives you experience. It makes you realize a lot of things within you and outside you. So Baba says that because it is giving you learning, experience, realizations, every situation is very enjoyable, but you have to pass it in happiness. So this is something that Baba is teaching today. Okay, Om Shanti.